I'm Jamie Taylor, and I am the Oakland City Director for Mission Year. Mission Year is a one-year urban volunteer program. It's faith-based, and we recruit young adults to come and serve in urban communities in neighborhoods that are often underserved. They come for a year. They study social justice, racism, and poverty while living in the neighborhood, being a part of a local community church, and doing about 30 hours a week of community service. The idea of Mission Year is kind of boot camp for another lifestyle. It's the idea that Jesus wasn't joking when he said that our salvation was tied into how we love our neighbor. I did Mission Year going on 12 years ago in Oakland, and I fell in love with my neighbors, fell in love with this community, and I stayed put. And I've been here trying to figure out what it means to love and serve this neighborhood for that last 12 years or so.
My name is Sabrina Johnson. I'm from Redmond, Oregon, and I'm 19 years old. I didn't really choose Mission Year. I just came across it. I went to a missions trip to Mexico, and I came back on the spiritual high, like I needed to do something with missions. And I got online and just did some research and found Mission Year, and God honestly just sent me here. It wasn't something that I picked or chose to do. It's something that was on my heart and I needed to do.
I'm Kristen Lucero. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I basically just kind of realized, there's more to life than kind of climbing the corporate ladder. There's more to life than trying to fight for more vacation time and that kind of thing. And so I was also in the process of reading a couple books. Basically just had an epiphany, what if we actually did literally what Jesus said and did? And so I started looking more into that, and I've kind of had a heart for working in urban environments, and especially with youth, since probably middle school. And so I started looking into different programs to do that, to kind of help me to ease into that and kind of learn more of that. I didn't want to go in ignorant or as ignorant as I could. So I started researching, and I had heard about Mission Year before, and kind of looked them up on the internet, looked into what they were about, and realized that would be a really good fit.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Burns. I am 23 years old and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Well, when I first heard about Mission Year a few years ago, and it was described to me as a place where young people come together in inner city communities and just really learn how to be good neighbors and learn how to love God and love people best as themselves. And that really sounded right up my alley. So I've always really been attracted to the idea of Mission Year and the idea of Christian community development, coming into these neighborhoods and really fighting for social justice in the small ways, but also just being a person who's just living amongst people in these communities, just someone who lives life. So that's always really attracted me, and I really want to apply the principles and spiritual disciplines that Mission Year teaches into my everyday lifestyle for the rest of my life.
I'm Sierra. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was looking online for places to volunteer in Milwaukee, where I'm from, and I came across the Simple Way website, and they had a little part for community service. I was like, oh, perfect, I could find something there. And I saw this little Mission Year thing and I thought, I'll check it out. Went to the website and realized maybe I should try it for a year somewhere else other than in Milwaukee. So I applied and prayed and said, God, if that's where you want me, put me there. And here I am.
Hi, my name is Jason Pritchard, and I'm originally from Calgary, Alberta, which is in Canada, and I'm 24 years old. I learned that happiness comes through making other people happy or encouraging others. And so I ended up enrolling in a Bible college, and that turned out to be a blessing from God. One day I was just praying in church, and basically the president of Alberta Bible College overheard my prayer, and he said, would you like to be nominated for half-year paid scholarship at Alberta Bible College? And so I thought that this was a great way to settle down and build relationships and also get some direction where God wanted to call me in my life. From there I had to do a third-year internship, and Going into the meeting, I was pretty scared because I didn't know, what I would walk away with, and the words mission year popped up. They prayed over my application and they decided that Oakland would be the best fit for me, and so here I am, and I couldn't be more blessed.
My name is Ben Soto. I'm originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm 30 years old.
So I went online and started looking for programs, looking for tools that I could use to learn how to do this better. Tools on how to start better ministries or be more relational with people. And I came across Mission Year. I wasn't looking to leave my ministry. I wasn't looking to leave my city. But there was Mission Year, and within 3 hours I read every single word on the website and was sure that this is one, if not the best way that God could show me how to best love Him and love my neighbor as well.
One component of Mission Year that is really important to us is simple living. And for the year, we ask the team members to live off a very small stipend, $60, $70 a month, and to not use their resources from home, to live in community. So they're living in an apartment we provide with 5 other people, to really walk in solidarity with their neighbors who don't often have a lot of extra resources. And also pay attention to kind of our obsession with things that our culture has, and the way we let things distract us from relationships and from the values that we find that Christ holds dear. And so we really focus on relationships, and we really try to take away the focus on stuff. And one of the other things is they live without a TV, and they don't have internet in their apartment. All these things that are we take for granted as have-to-haves. They spend their year doing without. I mean, they still have access to internet at the local library and other places, but we don't have that in the home. And it really is about living a distraction-free life for the year, really focusing on what they're here for, which is learning about justice and poverty, and learning from their neighborhood, learning from relationships in the community, relationships at service sites. We provide them with a grocery budget, which is not an extravagant, but it's enough. And often at the beginning, they look at the amount of money they're going to get and feel like it's not enough. And usually, by this point in the year, middle of the year, they find that they're not even spending their whole grocery budget because they're living their life in a different, more thought out way.
So we actually have a pretty strict budget. We only have about 120 per week for our entire team. Comes out to about $17 a person per week, which is equivalent to welfare for people who do not get food stamps.
So we're at my service site, East Oakland Community Project, which is a homeless shelter in East Oakland. And this is the Crossroads shelter. And I really float around and do a lot of different things, really everywhere. I work in the reception, I answer phones, I help residents with their basic needs when they come to the front desk. Also, and I work with residents in the kitchen, preparing meals for the day, and just any other cleaning or organizing that the kitchen staff may have me do.
Well, Science Horizons is a program of a nonprofit organization called Faith Network of the East Bay, and Faith Network serves Oakland. We go to several different elementary schools, working mainly with 4th and 5th graders, trying to cover some of the California state standards for 5th and 4th grade science.
So at this site, I'm a 6th grade facilitator for the 180 Degrees program, dealing with mostly 10 and 11-year-old students who are being raised in a difficult neighborhood. So we're trying to teach the kids about self-awareness and life skills like values and reflecting on their past and how to use that for their future.
This is my service site. As you can see, it's the YMCA. We call it the Urban Services. So some of my responsibilities are that I work in the computer lab here. I just like to monitor the area and make sure that none of the kids are really getting in trouble.
I work for the YMCA. They have a grant and they come in to local high schools and have after-school programs. They do a multitude of things. I'm in charge of the academic center, so I do academic support coordination, which means that I pull students out of class for tutoring, and then I also set them up with times after school that they can come and get the help that they need.
My name is Annette, and I am a mission year alum from Philadelphia 0607. So tonight, Jamie has graciously asked me to come here and do a training on immigration. And so I brought my friend Bianca, and she's done a lot of advocacy work with our agency. And so we're going to talk a little bit, just Immigration 101, do some immigration history, talk a little bit about myths and facts of immigrant communities, and bring it all back to how this, how then shall we live in light of these things, how then shall we live?
The idea behind the trainings is to kind of equip the team members better to understand what they're seeing in their neighborhoods, what they're seeing at their service sites, and to open up their eyes and give them a little more insight about this new world that they're living in. Most of our team members come from the suburbs or smaller towns, and so they're facing and seeing a lot of things that they haven't seen before, and we want them to kind of have an education along with that and gain some new perspective while they're here for the year.
I'm Bob Owens. I'm the senior pastor of His Gospel Christian Fellowship.
We have really enjoyed having the team here. We have grown with them and they've grown with us. I am the teacher of a Bible study here at the church, and we are studying Revelation, not an easy topic. So the mission year team has engaged the material. They come prepared. They actually come to the study with questions. Some of the questions are very technical. I like that a lot. And so the team's doing great. I think you'll see that they really work hard at this. They're not just attending Bible study to be attending Bible study. And the mission year team came in and immediately looked for opportunities to serve in our church. I'm very thankful for that. I really appreciate having these young individuals in our church, and I am so thankful that they came in ready to engage, ready to get involved. They've been involved in every area of our ministry, from our youth ministries to our music ministries and our teaching ministries. One of the team members is actually getting up and doing reflections on Sunday morning, and he and I have started dialoguing about what it is to have a minister's ministry, and I really appreciate the fact that he has sought out my counsel in that area.
Relationships are a key part of what we do in Mission Year. We're definitely not an agendaed program. They do, along with their service site and community living and church relationships, they also do neighborhood outreach, which is getting to know their neighbors, which is often really uncomfortable at first, because the first few weeks we ask them to literally knock on strangers' doors and introduce themselves. And usually we get a little friction around that one, and it makes them uncomfortable, but it's also something we should all be doing. We should be getting to know our neighbors. It's a call from God, and the only person knocking on someone's door shouldn't be a bill collector or someone with an agenda. Once in a while we should get a knock on the door from a caring face who just wants to care about us. And so we try to get that kind of paradigm shift that, like, you're not doing anything wrong by knocking on their door, you're actually doing the right thing, which is caring about your neighbor. And they're not knocking on their door trying to save them or trying to, beat the gospel into them, but they're trying to share the love of God with them through relationship, through getting to know them. I think it's one of the key pieces of what makes Mission Year special, is that we really focus on what does it mean to be a neighbor? What does it mean to care for your neighbor the way you care about your sister or your brother? What does it mean to see the Christ in them? Whether they're Christian, whether or not they have mental health issues, whether or not they have a different faith, culture, whatever. What does it mean to see the God in them and what God has to teach you through them?
You invite a neighbor or a couple neighbors over, and have dinner together with each other and with them, and we make the food and try to make them feel as welcome as possible, maybe play some games or something afterwards.
Hi, I'm Reverend Lori Owens, and I'm the assistant pastor at His Gospel Christian Fellowship. And the timing of Mission Year coming and approaching our church in regards to a partnership, one of the things that we as a church are moving toward is developing our commitment toward Jesus Christ, developing in our walk, developing in our showing our community love and acceptance. And it was just ironic that as we were starting down that campaign in our church, that I was approached by Jamie Taylor to talk to us about a possible partnership. And when I talked more and more to her, I thought, what a wonderful example, the embodiment of sacrifice, of love, of commitment, of showing Christ where you are. And in our case, right here on the corner of 40th and Mirror. And one of the things I can say about the 6 team members who have come in, they have done that. They are young people. They all have loving spirits. They are 6 very different people with different personalities. But the one thing that I see, even with the everyday things that they go through, is that they are showing the love of Christ in the place that they are. And I believe that it is God's will that they are with us and that they have partnered with us. And I thank God every day for them.
Without financial support, without prayer support, without mental support, we wouldn't be able to be here. It's been difficult at times, it's been frustrating at times, and it's been really, really great at times. Without all the people that are here supporting us, are at home supporting us, we wouldn't be able to do this. So my thanks just goes out to everybody that has been there. Our church is at home, our church is here, our family and friends, and just thank you. Can't ever say it enough. That's not like me.
Break it. So what's so wrong when I'm looking to change the law? I'm going to the world, better give it sun. If you living now, but it ain't